Good morning, everyone. Today's story is a bit different than previous stories I've done. It wasn't submitted to the channel, and it's not something that I stumbled across in the usual corners of the internet. This one was handed to me, quietly and out of fear. A friend of mine called me up one night, real late last week. I hadn't talked to him in years, but I figured he'd have a good reason for calling me at 2 a.m. He sounded rattled and said one of his coworkers, a nurse named Jocelyn, had been acting strange, paranoid and distant, and then she stopped showing up to work entirely. No calls, no explanations, just gone. He tried to call the cops, but they didn't take him seriously. Said burnout was common in her line of work, but he knew something was wrong, and he asked me to look into it. Now, I'm not exactly a private investigator, but I've been down enough dark roads to know when something's off. The search began with surface-level inquiries, phone calls, texts, emails, talking with her friends and coworkers. But all that turned up nothing. No responses from her, and nobody I talked to had any answers beyond what I'd already heard. I tracked down her apartment. I'm not going to go into detail, but it looked like something had either torn through the place or she had completely unraveled. Except for one room, her bedroom. Everything seemed to revolve around this notebook. Everything was scattered and wrecked, but the diary itself, it was clean, centered in a pristine, almost ritualistic-looking circle of bare carpet, almost like it had been preserved, like some sort of ancient artifact. I didn't know what I'd found, at least not at first, but after reading a few entries, I knew I couldn't just walk away. This wasn't just a story. It was a personal record, a descent. And if it's true, then Jocelyn didn't just vanish. She was taken. Taken by what? I guess you'll have to find out alongside me as I transcribe her words here. What you're about to hear are her words, transcribed from the diary. I don't know what's waiting for us in the later pages, but I'll keep reading. For now, listen carefully, and you might just hear something that she missed.
January 1st, 2025. Dear Diary, I don't know what to write or how to write it, but my therapist told me that keeping a diary would be a good way for me to organize my thoughts into a tangible form, to help me get a grip, if you will. It's a new year, and though I'm not usually one for New Year's resolutions, as studies say that 94% don't even come close to being successful, I'm going to try my best to do this year. That's funny. I used this twice in a row, but it still makes sense. At least to me. Sorry. I got distracted. Back to what I'm actually trying to write about. I don't know what's been going on with me lately, but something feels wrong. My thoughts have been scattered. I keep finding it hard to focus. There's this invisible sheet of darkness that is looming over me, ever present, but never tangible. It's always barely out of reach, on the tip of my tongue, but I can't seem to grab a hold of what it is. January 13th, 2025. Dear Diary, whoa, I completely forgot about this. So much for sticking to New Year's resolution. Well, I won't let myself become the 94%. I will go through with this. Since I started this diary, I've been paying more attention to myself and trying to figure out what, if anything, is wrong with me. Maybe I'm just overthinking everything and it's putting me into a mental spiral. But I've been having a lot more nightmares. Never anything really well defined, just always this feeling. I don't know how quite to put it. I mean, it feels like it's the end, whatever that means. The end of my life, the end of the world, the end of everything good. It's this looming feeling of it's about to be over. I am about to be over. Sometimes it feels like there's something behind that threat, and other times it feels like nothing is behind it. I don't know. I'm probably doing this to myself by dwelling on it, but it's hard to think more cheery thoughts. January 14th, 2025. Dear Diary, yesterday I was thinking a lot. Is it a lot? Or a lot? Sorry. Anyway, I was thinking about dreams and made it a point to try to remember my dreams better last night. I don't know why I'm explaining all this to Diary, almost as if I'm explaining it to someone, even though it's just me. I just need to stop getting pulled into rabbit holes and just say what I want to say. Last night, I didn't have any dreams. You know how sometimes your head will hit the pillow and you'll just instantly wake up the next morning? Like, you know, you didn't have any dreams and you didn't feel yourself falling asleep. You were just asleep and then you were awake again. Well, it wasn't that. I was sort of aware of my lack of dreams, like I was just existing in total darkness for what felt like an eternity. When I finally awoke, it took me a bit to fade back into reality, regain control of my body, and remember who and where I was. I don't remember this ever happening before, but I've got to get ready for work. I'll think about it and write more later. January 15th, 2025. Dear Diary, we were completely overrun yesterday at the hospital. I'm an ER nurse. The morning started out normal. We had half a dozen patients in from overnight. I got the reports from the night shift and went to my zone. We had a couple patients come in before the morning rush around 10. Nothing major, but half of the swing shift workers who come in at 11 to help with the rush didn't show up till 1500. I heard that they had gotten off a 36-hour emergency shift and had agreed to sleep in a bit. Anyway, it was chaos trying to get all the patients to their rooms, processing, running labs, sending for scans. All the while, someone is constantly pushing the call button. New patients seem to be flooding in, and there's always someone needing a hand with something. That leaves no time for breaks. I was fortunate to have used the bathroom just before the rush came in, and so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Long story short, it took all day to get the situation under some semblance of control, and by the time 1900 rolled around, I was exhausted. I grabbed a bite to eat from La Quifa and Juanita's, which, by the way, has the best enchiladas I've ever had. I got home, showered, but was still wired from all the energy drinks and coffee I had ingested throughout the day. I decided that what I needed was a late night drive to clear my head and relax for once. I ended up putting on The Great Chapter, my favorite Slipknot album, and screaming my lungs out, speeding down country back roads and entirely unsafe speeds. The night ended with me sobbing to sundown in Violent Vera as I drove home sometime after 2. I don't know what I need to do, but I need to do something. I'm living day to day, every waking hour preoccupied with either work or trying to catch up on sleep. Today is my day off, and I don't even know what to do besides sleep all day. Maybe watch an episode of 13 Reasons Why, or make the once every 2-week grocery trip where I can stock up on frozen meals and soda, and every once in a while a handle of Seagram's gin, which goes great with a Sprite. I think I'm going to call a couple of my coworkers later and see if they want to go out. January 15th, 2025, Part 2. I ended up not calling anyone. I don't know. I just didn't want to bother anyone, even though I also don't want to be alone. Does that make sense? Anyway, I put my phone on D&D and drank a gin with Sprite from an old coffee mug with an I don't drink coffee to wake up, I wake up to drink coffee decal, while half watching episode 3. I think it was episode 3. It might have been 4. There's a new character I don't recognize, and I'm not sure if I missed something or if I just forgot. Sleep sounds good. Maybe tomorrow will make more sense. January 16th, 2025. Dear Diary, it's 5:42 a.m. and I need to leave in exactly 18 minutes or I'll be late. Just enough time to microwave a breakfast sandwich, scroll through a few messages I probably won't answer, and scribble in here. I forgot to lay out my scrubs last night, ended up wearing the navy ones I don't like because the green set was still in the dryer. My badge reel got caught in the door again. I don't have time to be writing right now, but something about checking in with you makes the day feel like it starts on my own terms, even if I'm mostly just complaining. Okay, Egg sandwich is ready. January 18th, 2025. Dear Diary, I'm missing yesterday. It's just gone. Not the day itself, just the memory of it. I woke up this morning and couldn't remember anything between clocking in and clocking out yesterday. It's all a blur, like one of those old VHS tapes where the image warps and wobbles and lines streak across the screen. I know I worked. My charting is done. I even signed off on 2 trauma cases and a transfer to ICU. It's all documented, but I couldn't tell you a single thing about any of it. What does that mean? Did I dissociate? Micronap through an entire shift like a functioning zombie? I feel like there's something important I'm forgetting. Not just work stuff, but something else. I had that dream again. Or the not dream. The one where I'm awake, but there's nothing. Just black. Just waiting for something to happen that never does. I think I screamed myself awake, even though I awoke to silence. January 19th, 2025. Dear Diary, today was a lot better. Honestly, it was busy, but the kind of busy where you blink and it's 3 p.m., not the kind where your hands shake and you forget how to write your own name. I helped a teenage boy who broke his arm in a skateboarding accident. He made fun of my ringtone when I got a text from my landlord during the splinting. He said only old people still use actual songs as ringtones. I remembered his name, Kyle. It's stupid how proud I feel just remembering that. Little victories count. I don't even know why I'm writing this down. It's not like you care. Not that you could anyway. Anyway, I'm tired. I'll check in tomorrow if I can. January 20th, 2025. Dear Diary, something's weird about the break room clock. I know it sounds dumb, but I swear it's been off all day. I checked it around noon, and it said 11:46. Then 30 minutes later, it still said 11:46. I did a double take because it's obviously not still 11:46, but when I looked back, it read 12:08, which I confirmed with my phone. I thought maybe it was broken or running low on battery and skipped, but everyone else kept glancing at it like it was normal. No one else said anything. I laughed when I told Ashley about it, but she just sort of gave me this polite, tired smile and changed the subject. It felt like she knew something I didn't. Or maybe I imagined the whole thing. I used to feel sharp. I used to feel here. Now I keep feeling like I've wandered slightly sideways out of sync with the world. Everything almost makes sense. January 21st, 2025. Dear Diary, 2 more shifts, then I'm off for a whole week. That feels like a milestone worth chasing. I want to clean, rearrange my kitchen cabinets, organize the freezer so it doesn't avalanche every time I open it. Maybe I'll actually go for a walk in the daylight like a normal person. I caught myself whispering something under my breath today over and over. I didn't even realize until Patient pointed it out. I think it was, "You're still here. You're still here. You're still here." I laughed and pretended it was a joke, but I don't know why I would have been saying that. January 22nd, 2025. Dear Diary, 1 more shift. I keep telling myself that. Just 1 more shift. I can push through 12 more hours, right? I've done worse. I've worked double on that on no sleep with a half-healed sprained ankle and a UTI. Nurses are built to endure. I think I scared a patient today. This little old man. We call him Mr. Franklin. He was in for shortness of breath and mild confusion. Probably an infection or maybe a med reaction. I was adjusting his IV line and I think I drifted off mid-sentence. Not fully asleep, just blink. When I came back, he was staring at me, wide-eyed. He asked me if I was one of the people from the hallway. I asked what he meant, and he just shook his head. He wouldn't talk to me after that. Later, I went to grab his vitals, and he buzzed for someone else. I know I didn't do anything wrong, but it felt like I had. I looked at my reflection in the med cabinet window and didn't recognize the way I was holding my shoulders. It was like I was bracing for something to hit me. My body knows something. I just wish it would let me in on the secret. January 23rd, 2025. Dear Diary, last shift. Done. I'm so tired, it feels like my eyelids are weighted. I made it home, but I don't fully remember the drive. I must have gotten gas because my tank's full, but I have no memory of stopping. I was standing at the sink brushing my teeth just now, and I had this feeling that someone was watching me from behind. I looked, and obviously, no one was there. Of course. But the feeling didn't go away. It stayed right behind me. I've been feeling that more lately. Like there's something I'm not supposed to see standing just outside my line of vision. Like there's something I used to know, but I can't think of the words to describe it. And it's making my world smaller, like my apartment is shrinking by fractions, or the hospital walls are closing in without anyone noticing. Maybe I just need sleep. I'll check in tomorrow. It's day 1 of the break. You and me, diary. Let's see if we can breathe again.
I don't know what to say. Transcribing these entries feels like I'm invading someone's personal privacy. I'm conflicted between finding the truth and hopefully Jocelyn, and this creeping feeling like I shouldn't be reading these words. They were never meant to be read by anyone besides the author. But I just can't put this diary down. Something is, or was, very wrong. Jocelyn's words, her thoughts, they're unraveling into something I can't ignore. So I'll keep going. I'll keep transcribing, because it feels like I'm following a trail of breadcrumbs left by Jocelyn, wherever she is. And I just need to know that she's okay. So if you've seen her, if you've heard anything, reach out, please. I'll keep searching, and I'll keep y'all posted as I continue to make progress through this diary. Until then, sleep well, if you can.